Hello, everybody. Welcome to Everything in Poderation, because sometimes the internet can be too much. I'm Robert, and I am the best person on the internet.
Bold of you to assume that you're not the worst. I'm Daly, and I'm making some accusations today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Colin, and today the internet is a little less than too much, I would say, because we're talking about positivity. We're talking about goodness, and we're hoping that. Can there be too much goodness on the internet?
No, there literally can't be too much goodness. Today we're going to talk about some of the good people on the internet, some of the best people on the internet, some of the kind of people you should follow, so you don't have to worry as much about how not good the world can feel sometimes.
Well put. Yeah.
This is for all the people that follow r/uplifting news on Reddit.
Maybe. Or at the very least, it's just a nice break because we've been going pretty heavy for a while. If you've been following our content, we played a little, well, not played, but we talked about D&D last week, which was a nice little reprieve, and we're kind of keeping that vibe going, get this chill vibes. In a way, this is kind of like what our recommendations of other people to follow, I guess, is this kind of at the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
it kind of is. Yeah, it's going to be people just putting good out onto the internet, just doing their thing.
These are people whose vibes have vibed with our vibes, so we would like to put you on their wavelength.
And we would like to vibe with them as well.
This is the part where if you're watching on YouTube, we inserted counter on the screen for the word vibes, and every time we say the word vibes, it goes ding.
Colin, I'm going to hold you to that now, Vibe, because you're the one who edits our videos, Vibe.
I know, that's why I'm the one who's allowed to talk about it, and then I do not have to do it.
Well, that's the thing. If you don't do it now, Vibe, we all kind of know who dropped the ball.
Dude, I don't know if this is my vibe.
That's not some good vibes.
I don't know if I vibe with this.
Daly, I want you to kick it off. Why don't you tell us? Why don't you recommend to us one of your favorite folks on the internet?
Okay, I'll start out with my runner-up, and this person is going to be the runner-up only in the fact that I guess their influence isn't hugely spread. They're just kind of doing their own thing, and their own thing has helped touch many small furry lives. And as you guys know, I like cats. Did you guys know that?
What?
That I like cats?
Wait, what? Back up. What's a cat?
So those things that are always in the background of my videos making noise. Those guys. I like them.
Chances are, and in all of our time podcasting, you've heard a cat rub up against Daly's mic.
Probably.
More than a handful of times. Definitely.
You've heard a cat at some point. And there's this guy in Russia named Robin Seplut who takes care of the cats in his hometown, in his city. And he just goes around and he feeds them. And the way that I found out about this person is because he does have a good amount of subscribers on YouTube. He has 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube because, and his content, it's very pure. It's a very good way to kind of just get some good vibes in your life. If you want some cat-like vibes. You're welcome, Colin. And just the way that he labels his videos are super pure. Some of his most popular uploads is kittens came out of the hole and meows. Baby kitten.
Oh, so it's
meow.
Just cute little things.
It tells you what it is. There's no clickbait. It's just these 4 to 6 minute videos of him feeding feral cats. And my very favorite one is kitten hissing at me because the first time he saw a man. And it's same. That's also what I did the first time I saw a man.
Oh, nice.
And that's a 17 million view video. And he just does this on his own, goes out, feeds cats in Russia. It's very cold in the winter. And he does have a PayPal to help supply, him buying a very large amount of cat food. But other than that, like, that's just what he does. He just goes and feeds cats and takes videos of the cats that he feeds.
That's so wholesome. I like this sort of wave that we've been getting of very kind of minimal production sort of YouTube channels, but it's just doing menial things. Like feeding cats obviously is great, but it's like I don't know, it sounds like it's something there's no music, there's no special
music,
like whatever. It's just videotaping feeding cats, and that's just kind of it.
I didn't realize this, but Daily, you've just shown me and told me about a real life Yakuza protagonist.
Oh, really?
In the Yakuza video games, I think in like most of them, there's a side quest about finding random cats around the city and feeding them.
Well, there you go.
So I think you've just found I guess Russian mafia protagonist.
He's doing this IRL. A cat peeing a very long time.
Oh my god!
Like
a cat peeing?
There's just gems just scrolling through. Like he literally has how many videos on here? A couple thousand.
What?
Just cat versus plush monkey funny video. Cat steals sausage. Cute cat
is this
playing
the
with
epitome
me.
of, like, it's a meme nowadays, right? It's been a meme for years on the internet of like, oh, I'm just watching cat videos, LOL, right? Like I'm just checking out cat videos. Is this like, did he take that to its extreme? Like he is now the holy bastion, the new standard for which all cat videos will now be measured against.
You know what? I'd say so. Because I guess that's what I really appreciate about it, is it's not trying super hard. It's not like, look at what this cat did. You won't believe what this cat does. It's just like, you want cats? I will give you cats. Here are the cats.
You're giving us cats on your video feed right now.
I am. Y'all, I told you.
but not Cats the musical.
No. There's never been any singing or getting a new life or what is that fucking musical about? I don't even know. There's cats.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of Cats. There is no point.
Knows. Wasn't that a joke in? Was it Kimmy Schmidt?
No one knows what Cats is about.
The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, where they had like the whole bit about cats.
Yeah, where Titus, he just joins the Cats troupe in New York, and they just let him in and create a character for him because Cats is meaningless anyway. The musical Cats.
I mean, that's my extent of knowledge about Cats, is seeing that episode, because I think Robert was randomly watching it in the living room. And that is like everything I know about Cats.
The opposite of Cats, the 2020 musical film, is Robin Seplet on YouTube.
And also, I think probably we should be upfront. We're not getting paid or anything.
No.
By these people. We're just saying nice things about folks.
Yeah.
We're putting out good vibes.
Also, they're paying us millions of dollars.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was given a cat by Robin to say this. No.
Yeah. Well, I would like to, and this doesn't necessarily count as my one thing. It's kind of more of a general thing where I just like shout out to like all of the more ASMR type content or very minimalistic like video making of just shooting someone doing a thing. I think one of my favorite things that I've seen is like and Robert showed me, was the Korean cooking videos where it's just like Korean street food being cooked, and that's literally like great. Yeah, it's just shooting someone in a kitchen making street food, and it's just porn. It's just food porn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no music. Porn. You just hear kitchen noise, and yeah,
sizzling.
It's great, and it makes me extremely hungry.
Yeah, those two channels, Yummy Boy and ETTV, great channel. Just if you want to be hungry, just watch any of those videos.
How do you spell boy in Yummy Boy?
I think it's BOI. I forget.
It better be BOI.
Yummy Boy.
Boy.
Colin, so what's one of your people you brought to the table this week?
Yeah, so I don't know how much of the pre-roll we're going to include in this episode, but we got to talking a little bit about Moist Critical, aka Charles White, aka Charlie, aka Penguin Z0, aka just Critical. Holy
Jesus.
crap, guys!
Big Moist. Big Moist.
Big Moist, aka the official podcast. Jesus Christ, Charlie, you need to consolidate this shit. But nonetheless, Charlie is fucking great, and that dude works like really hard in terms of making YouTube content. I think that dude uploads at least once a day, if not multiple times a day. Like he puts out so much content. And he Twitch streams on top of all of that. And so that dude is like, he's got millions of subscribers. All of his videos get millions of views. And his video is always so like, it's a shitty webcam that it looks like he records on. He has one earbud in and he records on a probably pretty reasonably priced microphone.
I think it's a Audio-Technica AT2020, which is like 150-ish.
Yeah, it's like a USB mic, I think.
Knowing stuff.
Wait, I guess it depends. There are two. There's an XLR and
the point is his setup is
it's not one of your mics.
No. And so his setup is just very like minimal. And he does a great job at making himself feel like a normal dude and approachable. And it seems pretty genuine too. It doesn't feel like an act. But you know, he plays games, he opens up Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and all that stuff and memes and buys giant dildos and does a bunch of ridiculous YouTube shit.
Probably should say not safe for work content.
Oh yeah, very pretty NSFW. Very like he seems like that one friend that got on 4chan way too much, but is still like a generally good dude. He's not like the person sending death threats type 4chan guy. He's more like I just get on there for the memes type guy. And not only that, but like he puts a lot of his money towards like a lot of really good things. Like he puts his money towards charity, and he doesn't really talk about it too much. He gives his money to like small Twitch streamers randomly in subs, and puts his money towards like veterinary expenses for people's animals that are sick. And like he just does a lot of stuff that puts a lot of positivity on the internet. And he talks really frankly about like things that happen in his life, and he doles out a lot of really good advice. And also like how to live, like even though he's rich, he doesn't really live it up. He's definitely not the guy that like, I'm in the garage with my Lamborghini, whatever, but you know what really matters is my books. He's like, no, I'm obviously fucking rich. I'm not going to lie to you. But like also like I wear the same shirt every single day.
But does he have a Totino's training room? Yeah,
he doesn't have a 100 Thieves Cash App compound Totino's
the Cash App compound.
All the fucking words. Totino's training room, and then something streamer room, and you know, all the rooms of his house are sponsored.
Corporation.
Yeah. I've been following Critical for years now. I mean, he's been on YouTube for at least I want to say 10 years now, right?
Yeah,
like, he started doing it as a teenager.
Yeah, and he didn't even start showing his face until a few years ago, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was always weird about that.
But he's just a good old Florida boy. What's going on, guys? It's Critical. Today we're going to be talking about this gigantic fucking dildo that I got.
Oh my God.
Obviously I don't have an addiction to Pokemon cards, you fucking idiots. I just do it because I'm making a lot of content.
You know, what I liked about him from the beginning is ironically for someone who uses a lot of moist, just the word moist in a lot of his content and a lot of his names, he has a very dry sense of humor. And I mean, that's something he has always had. And that's what I was attracted to initially, because I remember some of his early days, like he played a lot of Modern Warfare 2. It'd just be like gameplay videos of him playing online and then just like hurling insults at people, like not over the mic. It's just like his commentary over the videos, and his insults, I mean, still to this day are very good, but they were also really good back then because he just has a creative mind. And I think that's shown a lot in the more recent years where he's branched out from gaming content to do more real life stuff, more tier list stuff. I still think an unfortunate amount of time about that one video where he created an armor of fleshlights.
I forgot about
video I'm gonna queue up for myself after this podcast. What?
Yeah, he slots fleshlights over his forearms and his shins for protection.
As you need to in the Florida climate, I suppose.
Yeah.
So one of his most recent videos was he somehow got a sponsor, and I can't remember who it was, to actually help them buy a warehouse, like him and his buddies. So they bought a warehouse somewhere in Florida, and the first thing that they did was clear it out, and then like Charlie and his dad made go-karts out of DX Racer gaming chairs.
They are racing chairs,
They are
correct?
racing chairs.
So
Yeah,
one must race with them.
They did a time trial in and around the warehouse like lot, and then at the end of it, they have to use a fucking fleshlight and swing it around and hit cans off a couple of parking poles.
Sounds about right. Correct.
Mhm.
I'm a more recent critical connoisseur, I'll say. And I was worried that his content was going to be like too like 3 edgy 5 me. Like very like edgelord, like you said, like someone that I could picture on 4chan being like, oh, I'm only trolling like ironically or whatever. But
Yeah.
he genuinely is just like doing his own thing and leaving people alone, which is nice to see YouTubers do. Not to say that YouTubers inherently troll people, but yeah, his content has never like crossed the line for me, and it's just nice to see. It reminds me of early YouTube, where it's just like it's me and a camera, and I'm gonna talk about something and make jokes on the fly and not seem super scripted. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I like his content.
It is very old YouTube, and I want Charlie on Hot Ones,
Ooh,
because that boy cannot handle his hot sauce.
Mm-mm.
you cry.
His hot
I
sauce
mean-
tier list video is so good.
Yeah. Hot Ones, I feel like, has gotten a lot more corporate over the years, right? A lot of the guests tend to be more celebrities, like
Yeah.
big Hollywood celebrities.
Look at us. Who'd have
Yeah,
thought?
I mean he did get he did still have Babish on though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, Babby also pulls in like
Babbage.
4 million views
he
a video.
Yeah, he
feels pretty mainstream these days.
I don't know. Critical's pretty big, dude. Like he's up there in that echelon with Babish in terms of subscribers and all that.
Yeah.
Like, and then he also had Brad from Bon Appetit, which they're definitely a little bit more corporate, given that they're New Yorker and
Man,
Condé Nast
Brad.
and whatever.
What a
Brad.
good boy.
Brad's
Yeah,
a good
fucking
boy.
Brad.
He's a human Labrador.
But yeah, I'm gonna
Accurate.
plug Moist Critical into the Moist meter, and I'm gonna give it a 90% out of 100. Just really, tons of fleshlight content, tons of giant dildo content, and yeah, it's pretty
Which
good
is-
shit posting.
The true measure of goodness is how often have you mentioned fleshlights in your content?
Now, Colin, I have to ask, now that you're done reading off of that note, how long have you had that little joke prepared?
At least the last 5 minutes.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So one of my folks, but both of mine are YouTubers, just to be upfront. There are a bunch of those YouTube content creating people as well. First one I want to touch on is Julie Noki, which I think
Love Julie.
many people might probably recognize her from 2020 as that one girl who made that telling my old self about the pandemic.
Yes.
Where it's she quote unquote time travels and tells like January Julie about what I think April or May would look like
God,
with like
we
the
were all
pandemic.
so young.
Yeah, I don't know. That definitely struck a chord with a lot of people, I think, for many reasons, because a lot of people were feeling very cooped up about the pandemic. But she brought this levity and kind energy to it all, where you really can't just help but laugh at some of the dark stuff that happened last year, and the way she delivered it was in a very novel way, and her acting chops really helped sell it. The whole idea of like, in January, Julie, she was worried about the fires, like the wildfires in Australia, and April, Julie was like, what? Oh,
What?
those things. Right. Yeah.
Her delivery is great, man. I love her a lot. I really hope. I've been saying for a while that I hope she gets her own show or something like that, or gets some sort of promotion. Because to me, she's like the refined female version of Gus Johnson, in a sense.
Yeah, I kind of get that vibe. I've been following all her content. Thank you. Since not just the pandemic ones, but just everything from then. And I mean, I'm not gonna say that every single videos of hers is like a hit, right? I mean, not everyone can create masterpieces on a week by week basis, but she is very consistent. She has been uploading every week, and it's always something fun and bright, and is something that feels like she wanted to create, not that she had to create. And I think that's what I like the most about her energy, is that despite how much bigger she's gotten and how she now has sponsors and stuff, it still feels like the content she's making is stuff that she had ambition to create.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a woman, which is a reference to her content. As a woman, I do appreciate just like, it's very real. It's very relatable, but not with like, isn't this so relatable? Like, her video about like doing a juice cleanse, and she like pushes herself to do like some of those like funnier, crazier things, like pouring apple cider vinegar down your body, as one does when doing a juice cleanse. That's how you properly do it. I just, her content is really up there in terms of like quality, and like we just highlighted people that like haven't put like a lot of effort into the technical part of their content, but she's definitely a person that's like, she's setting up lighting, she's setting up like where the camera's at, this is all like storyboarded out beforehand, and it shows in a very good way.
Yeah. And that's what I like. She puts out such a good energy, especially in a time when I think the internet really needed some good energy for once, and frankly, I think that's something that we need more of on the internet. And that's not to say there aren't other sketch comedians that have done really well. Ryan George out there, Gus Johnson's out there, Ian Chung is out there, right?
Mighty Keith, if you're a gamer.
Yeah, Mighty Keith is great, and there have been a lot of sketch comedians that have been doing pretty well with like pandemic related content. Caleb City, right? Yeah, I think he's even bigger. He has like over 1 million subscribers. But there was something I think about Julie's energy that struck me the most, in just how genuine she felt. I even liked at the end of her, because like she's, I think, done with the pandemic video, like specifically the ones about telling my old self about the pandemic videos. There are like 4 parts to it. And even in the 4th part, she was very self-referential and realized like, I can't milk this anymore. Like she recognizes like, I mean, this is tough. It's a tough situation, but we're almost over it. And now like my cash cow is leaving, and it's very wholesome in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely always support people that are doing great, just original content and stuff like that. Like, I just that just general wave of sketch comedy that we're getting on YouTube is just so good. It's just so high quality and very clever, and I don't know, just so much fun. It really is. Reminds me of why I liked YouTube in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like Britannic, but now. Brian and Nick, they're like old sketch comedy. They were like whitest kids, it was like that era.
Yeah, for me it was Frank and Dinko, F&D Films. That was the big one for me. They've been not really a thing for a long time, but that was my Britannic back in the day.
I'm sitting here like Ryan Higa was my OG.
Ryan Higa?
Ryan Higa? Isn't his name Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan Higa.
Yeah. It's like, it's been a while, so I could fudge the name.
Yeah, but we could all use a good laugh. Especially in today's world, but just in general. Especially. Laugh a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need absurdist comedy because the world's already so absurd that we kind of just need a level above that. We're becoming desensitized.
Yeah.
Help me laugh through the pain, please.
It's just, it also feels like such a different form of comedy than like SNL. SNL feels so weirdly like corporate. I mean, I guess it is, right? It's like NBC's flagship comedy show, but there's just something about YouTube sketch comedians that are really doing it well. And I can't recommend Julie enough. If you've still somehow not stumbled upon that viral, for lack of a better word, pandemic video.
Yeah, absolutely. Cannot
link in the description. Vibes.
Vibes.
Yeah.
Vibes.
Daily, who is your other pick?
Okay. At the risk of contradicting quite a lot of the things that I've said that I admire about other YouTubers.
Is it a dog person now?
It is not a dog person. Well, does he have a dog? I don't know. Okay, my I guess nominee for best person on the internet, especially in 2020, I would say is Mr. Beast, little known YouTuber. His name is Jimmy. He does some content that, contrary to what Critical or Julie Noki is doing, is very, very, very much in the realm of like clickbait. Hey, I did this and you won't believe what happens next. But he does that and he gets those clicks and he gets that fucking AdSense money, and then he puts it back into his community and he gives it to people that you actually see like in need. I really appreciate that his content is, you know, it's crazy. It is entertaining. It's crazy in that very like, yo, what's up YouTube today? We're going to be doing this kind of way. But he's taking advantage of the fact that that works in order to, you know, boost someone's Christmas and be like, hey, you don't have to worry about anything for Christmas because like I'm going to take you through the store and everything that you can fit in like a random square on the ground, I'll buy. Or
that's kind of wild.
Yeah, or like even when he was doing like, and I'm not a big PewDiePie fan whatsoever, believe it or not. When he did like the T-Series versus PewDiePie stunt where he bought like every single billboard in his hometown and then had it, you know, like subscribe to PewDiePie and like stuff like that. That's still like money going into the local economy, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I just appreciate when people do charitable things when you can actually see like the results in a more grassroots way than just like, not to say that giving to like Jude's Children's Hospital is like not a good thing to do, but I think it was cool and novel and interesting to see how he's impacted very specific people, very specific communities, and has given YouTube a better name than it has had lately, thanks to like all this charitable stuff that he's done.
Yeah, I don't actually know much about Mr. Beast. I keep seeing his name get thrown around on social media and things like that. I did read though that or it might have been an ad actually. He has like a burger joint chain or something now.
Another pretty charitable kind of campaign dealio that he did with a lot of restaurants that have been struggling because of the pandemic. What he did was he sent them like the material needed to essentially turn their restaurants into a Mr. Beast burger, which is a chain that he started across 300 restaurants in America. And it's just like basic, you know, burgers and fries, but it's all like Mr. Beast branded. So essentially guaranteeing that all these restaurants would get an influx of orders from like DoorDash and Postmates and stuff like that to try this, you know, novel new thing. And I don't think it's going to like be a permanent situation, but Mr. Beast Burger I think is still going on, and it just like that's a cool idea.
Yeah, because I got an ad for it because apparently one just opened up here in Seattle.
Oh,
I will say to his detriment, apparently, which kind of sucks, people were saying it's not very good.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I mean, it is like grease bucket like fries and burgers, but it's like sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah,
like,
well, people were saying like it's like I'd rather go to McDonald's or Wendy's like type thing. Like it's not very good at all, which is like what's that?
That's a low bar.
Oh yeah, very and that really sucks though. I mean, because it sounds like it's just something he did out of the like he's trying to do out of goodwill and
to like supplement these restaurants that have been struggling. There was definitely some controversy that initially happened when it came out, because it's like, what do you mean this quote unquote Mr. Beast burger is actually listed as a Buca de Beppo? What do you mean that it's a Mr. Beast burger? You're trying to fool us. And it's like, well, yeah, it's a Buca de Beppo, but like you can order off the Mr. Beast burger menu from there so that they have orders to fill and therefore can stay open.
Okay, yeah. So real quick. So I was reading that it's something called a ghost kitchen.
Yes.
So
It's
either of you explain to me
other-
what that is and how that works?
Yeah, so it's these restaurants that he has teamed up with that haven't been getting the most online orders or aren't as popular or are just in locations that he was interested in. I don't know what the exact criteria was, but basically it's just saying like, this is also a Mr. Beast burger. There's no, like, you can't walk in and be like, hey, can I have a Mr. Beast burger or those crinkle cut fries or whatever? But they will be the location that also fulfills the Mr. Beast burger orders that are gotten online.
So you're saying that if Buca de Beppo has like the Mr. Beast burger menu, it's they themselves in that Buca de Beppo kitchen that is cooking the burgers.
Yes.
Interesting. That seems like a really hard thing to quality control.
Yeah, that might be why it might not be as great.
Yeah, that sounds like a kind of a nightmare logistically.
But I will say it is nice that Mr. Beast is at least trying to do good, because I think whenever you see a YouTuber with thumbnails like, I can't believe this happened, or I pranked my sister and she got so mad and shit, you always kind of assume that the person behind that thumbnail is probably a piece of shit, or they're the kind of person that wants to get rich quick, and then a couple months down the line, they'll start releasing their own rap song or do a house tour of my $1 million house.
Yeah, they're the Gucci slides, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Are we? We're like fucking tweeting or subtweeting Logan Paul.
Yes.
Oh,
always.
There's way more than that, my friend.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was trying to think of the hip word that is subtweet. Remember subtweeting? Is subtweeting still a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's nice to see that there's at least one out there, and hopefully more, but at least one that is using the same clickbaity, like low tier effort, kind of marketing, right?
Yeah.
But is using it and using the success he's gotten for well-intentioned stuff instead of furnishing $1 million house all to himself and then to make a video about it so he can make millions more.
Yeah, it's like you have, like, I know there's been controversy about like the Ace family, like they do like these family vlogs and they're very famous from that, and they've been like complaining like, our second mansion isn't done yet, they didn't finish the landscaping and it's just so hard and difficult. And then you have, Mr. Beast over here, and he I've not seen him like wearing the drip exactly. He wears kind of like the same thing, which is like his own merch and basketball shorts and sometimes a bucket hat. He feels very approachable. And even though he's dropping all this cash, it doesn't really reflect in his personal life as far as I can see, other than the fact that like he bought his best friend a house so that he would have room for a nursery because his wife was about to have a baby.
Aw.
Yeah, I mean, still, that's more charitable than like, I'm just gonna kind of keep the money for myself and so I can just say I'm a millionaire.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely need to read into Mr. Beast a little bit more then, because I see him around. I see his name thrown around all the time.
You see his content. Team Trees, that was his deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lots of
Not
trees.
ringing any bells, but
Trees
for a minute
happened.
There, my brain was thinking you were talking about LA Beast. Like when you first introduced Mr. Beast, my brain went to LA Beast, who's the man who eats and drinks shit till he pukes.
Oh yeah.
Have a good day.
That's what I've been talking about this entire time, right? Yeah.
Dude,
No.
Shout out to fucking LA Beast, man. What old school YouTube content that dude is putting out. Just like, what's going on, guys? I'm going to take this gallon of beer and I'm going to put it through 80 Brita filters to get it as clear as I can possibly get it.
Well, enough about old school YouTube, or maybe there is more old school YouTube. I don't know. Colin, who's your second person? Is it old school YouTube?
A little bit. Yeah. So I think I've mentioned him before, but I'm gonna bring him up again because I adore this YouTuber so much, and that's the Happy Console Gamer. He's definitely smaller time, and he's been on YouTube forever. I think he started his channel in like 2007, 2008, and I've been following him basically since his inception. And so it's crazy because it's one of those things where he definitely has just a small niche following. I mean, he's a video game collector. He talks about stuff he's picked up. He talks about like what him and his friends are playing or what him and his wife are playing. And it's just generally very good vibes, but occasionally he puts out a very personal video where he'll like reminisce about old memories or talk about, you know, childhood happenings and like his dad passing away, or like he dealt with like some illnesses in the family. He just really does a good job at bringing you in and make you feel like you're a part of like what's going on in his life, and make you feel like you're part of this sort of community or like fanhood. And everyone just is very positive. He calls himself the Happy Console Gamer because he just puts out positivity. He never really goes out of his way to talk negatively for an extended period of time, or like really down, like talks down about a game or something like that. Or if he does, he tries to be really constructive about it. And I don't know, it's that sort of like small but tight-knit community type YouTubers that I really gravitate towards. And he's probably up there with one of my top ones. That's why he's like my favorite YouTuber, because I've gotten so attached following him for so long. So he's really great, and he's always fun to jump into late too. And I also want to like kind of sneak a second one in here too, in that sort of niche, sort of small community, tight-knit community YouTubers, and that's the Punk Rock NBA, who covers a lot of like music happenings. He talks about like why so-and-so band got big. And he's another one of those where his videos just foster a lot of discussion, and there's a lot of dedicated fans of his too. And I'm sure you guys have YouTubers like that you follow personally, but I think both of those guys put out.
I only follow PewDiePie, actually. So
I only follow T-Series, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, shit, you guys are corporate shills. Fucking corpos. No, but yeah, both of those guys also dealt out a lot of like life experience and life advice videos, and I like that stuff too.
So he only plays PC games, right?
Happy PC Gamer?
Yeah,
Happy PC Gamer.
Right.
Yeah.
Is his first name Joe?
John, actually, so close.
Oh, okay, that's not bad, because you have Angry Joe and Happy John.
Yeah.
Yay!
That's what I was thinking
about that.
The dichotomy is real.
Yeah, there are two types of gamers: Angry Joes and Happy Johns.
Well, I mean, if you really want the polar opposite of John from Happy Console Gamer, I think it would be like the quartering or something like that.
Oh God,
no.
Yeah.
So you're saying that Happy John actually respects women? What?
I know. Can you believe that?
All right, he's got my vote then.
That's all. It's a very low bar for
as
you,
a woman.
That's all it takes.
I'd like to be respected as a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but go ahead.
Oh, I've seen a couple of the Happy Console Gamer videos because you play them. You know, we live together, so I it's kind of hard to avoid. I've always thought of him as Canadian Billy Mays, which I'm now thinking is Billy Mays Canadian, but I don't actually know.
I don't either.
But you know,
keep talking. I'm gonna figure this out. Go ahead.
Yeah, the man who speaks in all caps. You know, Billy Mays here to tell you about brand new content. This new infomercial I have will sell you on a magic product. I get that vibe from Happy John. I feel like he also always speaks in caps.
Oh, that's nice.
Sometimes he definitely does.
Is Billy Mays Canadian?
So that's what I'm looking up right now. So according to Wikipedia, Mays was born on July 20th, 1958 in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, and raised in nearby
American.
Yeah,
so
he's our treasure.
He's American is apple pie.
Yeah. So that's the vibe I get from Mr. Happy Man.
He sounds happy.
Yeah,
I appreciate when people put that in their brand. Like, I'm not going to be bitter and angry about things because oftentimes that's what sells, unfortunately, is negativity gets more clicks. But that's true. That's nice. That's nice that he can base that on who he is. He's happy.
Plus, I think it's a better brand name because could you imagine if he's just like bitter console gamer, shitty console gamer?
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen those handles before, though, is the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I mean, he comes from old YouTube where the retro gamer YouTubers ruled the views for a good long while. Because it's basically a play on AVGN is his name, because he said in one of his videos, like, AVGN, the Angry Video Game Nerd, was the reason that he started his channel. He's like, oh, this guy's getting on here talking about retro games. I'm gonna name it the Happy Console Gamer because I'm not angry. And he's a happy Canadian. Yeah, you're angry. He's the happy Canadian dude who likes games, and he's the reason why I'm a fucking weeby ass JRPG gamer.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Positivity.
My last person is not quite as positive. I mean, he's as a person, I think he puts out a very cheery demeanor, but the content he talks about tends to get very dark and very serious. But over 2020, I discovered a YouTube channel called Philosophytube that I have been watching a lot of. Guy. Philosophytube is great. He's just this really saucy kind of British man who has a great sense of humor, but is also very well read, very well spoken, very well learned. And you can watch kind of any of his videos, especially in the past few years, and it's almost like watching a lecture, and he will source all of the stuff that he's referencing.
Oh, so we love sources. Yes.
Oh yeah, it's like bibliography style. So if you disagree with any of his takes, you can, based on his video, go out and find the original text he's talking about, to understand how he maybe landed at his interpretation of the facts. And to be clear, to be upfront and fair about this, he is super leftist, hyper, probably socialist vibes. At the very least, you get that feeling from him. And maybe that doesn't jive with your views. That's fine. I do still think he is worth watching just so you can kind of understand. He at least approaches it in a very measured way and in a very informative, entertaining way, where you can kind of get why people are queer and why people have been pushing for being queer to be okay in society for the past couple decades, He's
popped up on my feed quite a bit recently. I'll give him some clicks.
I do like his videos. They do get, I will admit, they get a little long in the tooth for me sometimes.
They're very dense.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, this is a lot of information being thrown at me, and you're saying a lot of big words for my big dumb brain sometimes. But no, I really respect the type of content he does, and I do also respect how well read and how well sourced and cited all of his stuff is. So even if you don't agree with his stuff, I think that he's at least worth listening to, and his input on a lot of social and political issues are pretty informative.
Yeah,
learn something.
And one of my favorite things about his evolution, because he's also been on YouTube for a long time, even though I've only discovered him recently, there is a moment where, for a couple first few years of his work, he would probably describe it as the more boring approach to his videos, because it was just him sitting at his desk and then just monologuing for however long the video is, and it's interstitched with like, B-roll footage or just a still image panning across it or something, or maybe it's like a quote showing up in text, but it's just a dude sitting at his desk reading off a script, essentially, right? But he is an actor by his day job, so like he can read a script and still make it sound compelling. And then there was a day he just decided, but what if I like dressed up and did weird shit? And that's how he made a video about Jordan Peterson dressed up as Satan with a snake in his hand, a real life snake curling around his hand for however long he had to shoot that video. And his character was, I'm Satan and Jordan Peterson's my favorite person on earth. And here's why.
God.
Okay. This is the first video I'm going to watch because I want to know what kind of snake. I like snakes.
It's two snakes.
Two snakes?
Yeah.
For the price of one? What?
Yeah, and I don't know if you could necessarily say he's like, he does put some positive stuff out there, but he does talk a lot about some more negative subjects too.
Yeah, so the reason I put him on here is because I think his approach to talking about these negative things is done in such a positive way. In that, I mean, for one, it's learning, right? It's an enlightenment, which I think is always a good thing. But even when he's talking about something negative, like Steve Bannon, or like Jordan Peterson, or even like Ben Shapiro, he will approach them for as long as he can in a way where he is speaking about them or to them on their terms and engaging with their ideas as if he is trying to understand or is understanding their ideas.
I see.
Until he reaches a point where it's like, but this is where the logic breaks down. But he's not just straight up going at like, yeah, fuck Ben Shapiro because he's an ass, like right at the beginning. It's more, so here's Ben Shapiro's views. Here's why he thinks they're right. And now let's get into why they're not. But yeah.
Let's get into why that's totally wrong. And would you say that he's similar to H Bomber Guy? Because I think that H Bomber Guy is actually inspired originally by Philosophytube to do the things that he does. The kind of essay form videos where sometimes there's dressing up involved.
Yeah, I mean, they're both part of this group of left tubers. I've also heard them called bread tubers, but they're just like left.
I don't know what bread means.
I've read it once and I don't remember. It didn't stick with me. But basically, they're just left-leaning YouTubers that do these long-form video essays about stuff. So you have folks like ContraPoints, H Bomber Guy, and Philosophytube here.
ContraPoints takes the dressing up part to the extreme.
Very seriously, yes. But they'll often be featured in each other's videos. Maybe like one of them reads a quote in another's video or something like that. So there's a little bit of,
some overlap there, some intermingling.
Yeah. Wait, didn't Philosophytube have? Was it Philosophytube that had Legal Eagle?
Yeah, that was the first video I found because I knew about Legal Eagle for a while, and Philosophytube did a video about Amy Coney Barrett. Yeah, and collabs with Legal Eagle there, which is where I
shout out to Legal Eagle too as like a
Legal
content
Eagle
creator.
Legal Eagle is fantastic, and he's basically we call him Lawyer Dad, but he's
Lawyer Dad.
Yeah, he's Lawyer Dad, but
he's
he
both
basically
your lawyer
makes
and your dad.
He approaches certain political things and legal things in a way that's palatable. You know, he basically takes the legalese and puts it in layman terms, which I really appreciate. I think we need more content like that, especially now, in this sort of age of disinformation and things like that. We need people that are going about, debate and just playing out legal facts in ways that, can get the information out to the masses. And I think people like Philosophytube, Legal Eagle, maybe H Bomber Guy, but I can't really speak to that. I haven't seen much of his content. I think it's really important the type of stuff that they're doing, I would say.
Information. Correct information getting out there.
Yeah.
Whether facts are nice.
Facts are good.
Controversial statement. I enjoy facts.
I like facts.
Facts.
Yeah, and I mostly like how especially Philosophytube kind of role models opening up discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like facilitating discussion about very dense and difficult issues that come up, especially nowadays. I really like that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what made me gravitate the most to Philosophytube, because I like H Bomber Guy, I like ContraPoints, I love Legal Eagle, right? They're mostly, well, I guess ContraPoints and H Bomber Guy are more like, here are my interpretations of the facts, like from the get-go, right? More often than not is usually how it is. Legal Eagle is more like, let's strip away as much of the opinion as possible from the facts and try to understand how the law impact, because law is written. Right? Lawyers exist purely to adapt and apply the law to any situation given, and that's what he brings to the table. What I like so much about Philosophytube is what he brings to the table is, yes, he brings his interpretations of the facts, but he also brings, here is how you can interpret the facts for yourself as well. He gives you the tools and understanding and logic necessary to kind of understand how he came to his conclusion. And then if you measure up the facts and his conclusion to your worldview, how you could come to your own conclusion, whether it's the same, wildly different, somewhere in between. That's up to you to figure out.
We love critical thinking.
Exactly.
Using our critical
also,
thinking skills.
I'm also going to stick another one in here just because I don't really know where else we would really talk about this YouTuber other than, I guess, this episode. But it's not necessarily all positive, and that's All Gas No Brakes.
Oh, All Gas No Brakes.
Yeah. All Gas No Brakes is just a dude who is basically, I guess you could call it journalism, but more like, I guess, video documenting. I mean, he goes to all these like random, like obscure events or things that are happening throughout the country and just videotapes them, just tapes them. And he runs into the craziness and interviews people. And he doesn't really even have to do much. He kind of just shoves the mic in people's faces.
Documents and then
just
people,
has them say things.
People will say, yeah, I do appreciate that he doesn't like lead. He doesn't do a lot of leading as far as like you can tell through the content that he puts out. It's just kind of like, hello, here's a microphone and presumably some kind of platform. What would you like to do with it? And man, people do things, whether or not they're great things, whatever. But I appreciate that he has braved the situations that he has done in order to bring us, I guess, knowledge of, different cultures, cultures that are unfamiliar, maybe to the average person.
Yeah,
well,
and
what I like so much about his content is, I mean, I'm a journalist by trade, right? Like that's what I learned in school, and I'm still gonna forever really like the big, media companies that can pull off these really big stories, the stuff like New York Times and WAPO and what they do. But what makes Andrew's content, what makes All Gas No Brakes stand out to me so much is he talks to the layperson, he talks to the everyday person, he talks to your neighbor. He talks to your roommate. He talks to your family. Like that's the kind of people he gets in touch with. He's not reaching out to the people with the big titles who can say big emphatic statements about the state of the world. They're just talking to Chuck and Janine from down the street, and they happen to be at a flat Earth conference. And you know what? It only took 4 minutes for them to blame the Jews on it. So that's the people you live with. That's the people that are in the world and just out there right now. And that's not something you're going to really find at a lot of big media companies, I feel.
Yeah, and I mean, it should be said that like, he's giving platform to I don't need, I wanted, my head is saying fringe culture, something like that, but I don't even know if that's the right word for it. I mean, because he goes to like the Sturgis bike rally, he goes to flat Earth conferences, he went to Minnesota when the riots were happening, and that Target got burned down and things like that. I mean, he was literally in a burning building.
Yeah,
like interviewing those people. So I struggle to say like he's giving a platform for like everyday layman people, but he's definitely putting eyes on these things that are happening in the country that are significant, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, I guess I don't mean like literally the everyday person, but when you think of like the flat earthers, like someone who believes in flat earth, it's just so easy to kind of pack them away into one big label and just kind of ignore them or think they're like, oh, they're all just idiots and fools. But he puts the spotlight on like, no, they're not idiots, they're not fools, they're not, some amorphous organization. Like they're just people. Like they are just people that could be like your neighbor. They're people that could be like someone you go to school with or someone that you see at the diner every now and then. Like,
yeah,
anyone could be a flat earther. Anyone can be a furry. Anyone can be Antifa or Proud Boy, like they're radicalized, or maybe they're really into something kind of weird and niche, but they're also just mostly your average citizen.
The dude down the street. Yeah.
I think what he does is he takes those people that you see headlines about, news stories about, and he puts a humanizing element to them, right? Because yeah, the Sturgis bike rally happened, and I actually do remember seeing news stories about it. and it's like one of those things where like, yeah, you read about it, you read the headline, you read the story, and it's like, well, what a bunch of idiots, and but then you see All Gas No Brakes puts out a video, and he's like literally on the fucking ground floor talking to these people that were written about. And that's more of the type of thing that we need, because there was a wide array of people at this thing. There was everyone from like, fuck the coronavirus, nyan, 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 all the way up to like, like I don't approve of the whole mask mandate thing, but also those cops need to quit killing people. Like you just get this wide array of people, but at All Gas No Brakes, the host, I don't even know his name, the dude that Andrew, he like talks about, I didn't even bring up the mask thing or like coronavirus or whatever. I just put the mic in their face, and within minutes they start bringing up masks and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So even because this event had happened in spite of the coronavirus being a thing. But I don't know. He's an interesting cat, and I'm glad he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
agreed.
They're gonna be. Yeah. We could do a whole episode on that kind of thing.
Honestly, we probably should.
Is it a good thing that he's giving platform to some of these things that are being said? Is it a good thing should he not be doing that? Should he be doing a wider range? Is this, is he leading people into saying weird things? There's a lot of questions there.
Right.
But I enjoy the content. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Same. And I actually do want to clarify a point and maybe tie a little bow on that too. Mm-hmm. In that, so yeah, he is like raising up these fringe cultures, right? And yes, it humanizes them and makes them ordinary citizens, but I don't want that to be construed as, anti-Semitic people are good people too, because that's super not what I mean. And I don't think that's what Andrew is trying to say either. I think it's more that there are anti-Semitic people out there, but they're not like cartoony villains. They're not like Hitler, they're just, sometimes they are normal people that do like normal everyday other things that you also do as well, but they're also anti-Semitic.
Yep.
But they're also a Proud Boy, and it's this little bit of nuance that I think gets missed a lot on the internet. Because when you see headline like Proud Boys hold a rally, it's so easy to just assume all the Proud Boys there are probably just like cartoonishly evil, no redeeming factors, who needs, the world isn't black and white, there's no gray, right? But he kind of helps you remember, especially on the internet, there is a little bit of gray there.
Yeah.
Because the internet can be too much.
And I don't know if I could completely say that what he's doing is like he's just putting it out there for like it, like here's the thing that I recorded and it's objective, because it is kind of edited in a way that he wants to like make these people look a little ridiculous. I don't know if that's his plan, but it does come off that way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, though, I think what he's doing is something that is great. Like, I think that it is something that needs to be put out there. Like, it's necessary content, and I hope it keeps getting made.
Same.
Do
here.
it. More gas, less brakes.
More gas. No brakes.
No brakes.
No
at
more
all.
brakes.
Negative brakes.
There was never any brakes.
Take away the brakes.
And highly recommend, as an aside, go watch the documentary about All Gas No Brakes that Vice did. It's like a short documentary video that they did on YouTube, and it's
okay.
I have so much to watch after this.
Yeah,
it is very good. And Colin, you've snuck in like 3 extra things.
Stop it!
I know. And by the way, so guys, just let you know, I have like 50
anyway,
more.
So
where did I put that clipboard?
I think we should probably wrap it up here. Yeah. Oh, and I guess maybe should name this episode just Best YouTubers or something, because like
it is mostly YouTubers.
Yeah, I think all of us walked in here, not a single like
we basic
Twitter
as
person.
Fuck, y'all.
Yeah, it's all just YouTube. Fuck, we're just naming the episode Best YouTubers or some shit. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed this. We hope maybe you've if you know some of these content creators and you agree, like, hey, I like them too, let us know in the comments below what you like. And if you have recommendations to us that you think we should check out, leave a comment, tweet at us, email us. All that stuff is in the description below. We're just all about trying to share good information, good content, whether it's to make you laugh,
caring,
to help you learn something new about the world, to watch a Canadian Billy Mays talk very loudly at you.
Yeah, spread the word about these YouTubers on our gigantic platform that we have, because they definitely need our help spreading the word.
Hey, I mean, we're all very online people, and I think part of being a very online person is recognizing all the other online people as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Support
thank
each
you so much for getting to the end of this one. We hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed. And we hope you stick around, because we will be back next week with another fun episode of Everything in Poderation, unless something really crazy happens, but fingers crossed that doesn't happen. This has been Everything in Poderation. See you next week.
Anyways, that's it. See ya.